Well, good morning, everybody. How's it going? It's Tuesday, January 6th. You know what this is the anniversary of, don't you? Trump's first act of treason. Well, at least the first one that was publicly acknowledged. He went out and had his followers attack the Capitol. And of course, those that got arrested are out now. Trump freed them all. Somehow or another, he got the Supreme Court to give him immunity, which sort of makes him think he's king. And it just makes him a bigger asshole as far as I'm concerned. And the problem you have with this guy, he doesn't pay attention to what's going on around him. He's not looking at what these other countries are saying or what they're doing. And they're not respecting him. That's the thing. He says, we got all the respect in the world. No, you don't. Respect is best if it's earned, not given because of threats of intimidation or something like that. You know, he's a coward. He's a chicken shit. He managed to manipulate everything. You have to give him some credit for doing that, you know. Reviving a form of government that was despised by the world for years since the 1940s, 1930s really, called fascism. Because he doesn't wear a label, he doesn't do a Nazi salute, that doesn't mean he's not a fascist. Okay? It's just something that... Oh no, that's not for you. Sorry, Lucy. I'm sorry, girl. It's okay. It's okay. You're still hungry. Why are you still hungry? Go sit down. That's Lucy, in case anybody's interested. She's developed a ferocious appetite. I don't know what's going on. But anyhow, he's glowing in the fact that he's a dictator. Dictators eventually are gone, or removed. Sometimes by another dictator, sometimes by a different form of government altogether. Socialism, democracy, what have you. So Trump is just, sitting there gloating and everything like that. And he's going to be dead before he finishes this term. I'm assuming it'll be natural. Nobody as nasty as he is can maintain any kind of authoritarian position. He's got his friends or his little puppet masters all around him, and America's just stupid. They don't realize it. I don't think the 2026 midterms are going to do any good. Really, I don't care if we win them or lose them or whatever way you want to describe them. If he allows that to happen, and I think he's trying desperately to figure out a way he can prevent that from happening. He thinks if he rattles her, right now he's trying to scare everybody, sending 1,000 troops and a couple thousand 1,000 or so troops into Minnesota because of the corruption he believes is there. There's some evidence, but not to the extent. But any welfare program has corruption in it. You know, I mean, I tell a story. I used to work for the phone company. I was, in my mid-20s, and across the street from I worked in a building called I don't know what they called it, but there was what they called a frame. All the wiring was done in the building for this particular series of exchanges, which was the Oranges at the time. And eventually we went from what they called the frame. We went into what they call crossbar, and then we went into computer. All this took place in the space of about 3 years. you know, upgraded to the fact that people weren't needed anymore. All I did was run wire from one point A to point B inside the building so that the circuit would go outside to the guys that were waiting for it. I was loved by the guys that were outside because I did it right and I did it fast. If there was a mistake, it usually wasn't on my end. It was on the end of the planners who sent me the paperwork to do the process. I fixed problems when they arose, even though they weren't involved with me at all. And I worked for the good of the union for a while till they decided they didn't like my attitude. See, you can't complain if you're a union member. You have to go along with the flow. Anyhow, that was the phone company. But totalitarian processes are not something I'm good at. I don't like bosses. And I didn't like being a boss. So, anyhow, Trump's never had that problem. He was born a prick, he's still a prick, and he'll die a prick. It's only a matter of time. You know, you can't... Things change. He's not changing. He's going to stay the way he is. But when he was running for office, I said that you don't have to worry so much about him, it's the people around him. Well, now that's very true. You have to get rid of the Steve Millers, the Thiels, the Vances, the Rubios, the guys in the background, which is what Miller is. You have to do this. If you don't do this, we're screwed. Okay? Now, I'm basically saying we're screwed because I don't think you're going to see free elections or if they're going to make any difference. All right? I'm not sure why. I just don't. You know, it's just something that I've become aware of. I'm sorry about that. See, TV down here is screwed up. They start the shows at different times, not on the hour. They can start at 15 minutes after the hour, whatever. Anyhow, I watched this show that was supposed to be an hour last night. British police drama starring an older woman, way out of shape, called Vera, and it ended on the Arts Channel, and it ended. It should have ended around 5:11 or something. It ended like 25 minutes to 12. So by the time I got into bed, it was midnight again, and I'm trying to get out of that habit, you know, so I can get up early and do the things I want to do and come here and do what I need to do and then go on and do what I want to do. All right? So, anyhow, moving along slowly. Let's just file that for now. I have to get another one of those. I don't know how to explain what's going on. I mean, you have to pay attention to him because he doesn't pay attention to himself, you know. Here's one of his great deals. Stephen Miller is being put in charge of Venezuela, and he's going to go down there and straighten the country out. Well, he'll fit in real good in a Latin American country that's basically been fascist for a while. So they'll fit in right away. But supposedly a regime change, and it wasn't. The only thing they did is removed Maduro. They didn't change anything else. And I guarantee you, if people can figure it out and start watching, you'll see the cocaine boats start going again. All right? It's like one of the analysts last night said that was asked about if Trump would attack Colombia. And they sort of shook their heads a little bit, and they were basically saying that Colombia is not important. Colombia supplies 70% of the cocaine in the United States, but it's not important because Colombia doesn't have any oil, number one. And number two, there's 3 military factions you have to deal with down there. The government, the rebels called ELP. I don't know whether that's the letters that they use. And the remnants of the FARC were working for the various cartels. And they have military units scattered throughout the country. They control various areas of the country that the government has no control over whatsoever. You know, I mean, you could come to Medellin and look at that, see that. You have a police force that's basically works to solve crime, but not narco crime. All right, they seized a lot of drugs. Yeah, well, there's a reason for that. Somebody had to rat somebody out for a reason. All right, and that's done a lot. You don't understand that. All right, so Steve Miller's going to go down to Venezuela and turn it into Italy. He's got the hairstyle to be Mussolini. Just stuff people don't pay any attention to. You know, what am I supposed to do? That was the part I just said, the 3 armies. And then you have Donald Trump is head of the whole thing. And thanks to the Supreme Court, he believes he's above any law. Not just dealing with the presidential, but all the laws. He's far above them. They don't mean anything to him. They're useless. They just tie his hands. I have said this, and I still mean this. I don't want him dead. I want to see him dragged out of the White House, handcuffed, crying like a spoiled little bitch that he is. Okay? He's going to try and make this a... the longer he is there, the more he's going to try to make this where he can install a... instead of having elections, he can just make it a family affair and bring in Barron. All right? As the next... I'm sure he'll figure out something. You'll see that if he puts Barron into some sort of government position, all right? Because Vance is useless to everybody. Nobody likes J.D. Vance. The people that vote for him don't like him. The people that support him for president don't like him. All right, but they're trying right at the moment not to piss Trump off. Okay, so that they want to support Vance, and I don't think Trump likes him either. I think that the vice presidents are very seldom liked by the president. They're basically useless. They've had to run the government. In most cases, they get 1 term out of it, and then that's it, because they can't. They differ too much in opinion, I've always said that they elect people that aren't likable so that nobody will shoot the president so that they can elect the vice president. Nobody will remove the presidents because that's what you get if you remove the president. That's why the Republicans hate this guy, and that's why they're not, going along with any kind of impeachment process whatsoever. All right, the Democrats should fear this. All right, I don't know what the Democrats think they're going to do. They think they're going to appease their constituency, and they'll get reelected, or they'll gain a majority. But you got a moron that's going to be president again. You go from one older moron to a younger moron. That's all it is. Hey, listen, what day is today? Tuesday? Wow, man. Things aren't back to normal yet down here, Sarah. People are all on vacation and everything. I wish I was. My wife leaves for her vacation tomorrow, which is really my vacation, because I get to do what I want to do. Anyhow, listen, folks. This ain't critical or nothing, but I would really like to see some new subscribers out there. And the problem I'm having really is that most of what I say, I have said before, sometimes years ago, you know, in a different situation. It's opinions that I've mentioned, and this just gets very frustrating when I do this, because I look at some guy, like I said yesterday, when I'm cleaning my keyboard. It's rude, isn't it? When I look at Jon Stewart saying this, describing the government as the world government as multi-industrial powers in control of various sections of the world. That's from the movie Rollerball, 1975. I said that, and I have it. I have the proof that I said that on one of my videos. I'm not going to go through them. I have enough trouble watching myself do this. So anyhow, I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to talk about when I leave here and go back to do the live video now. People say, why do you do 2 videos? Because some people say they can't get the live video is very difficult thing to do. All right, I said I'd do it at 11 o'clock. It's 11:07 right now. It's going to be about 11:25 or something by the time I get done with this, and I put up and I get it posted to the internet, and I turn around and I start doing the live video. That's just the way it works. Okay, it's just me. I hate being someplace at specific times. That's why my wife and I argue all the time. All right, I don't, we get there early and I sit around for an hour, get to a doctor's appointment early and I sit around in an hour in a comfortable chair. And she doesn't realize that she's in pain. Well, so am I, and that's something I guess she doesn't, and I don't want her to realize it. I'm not going to sit there and complain all day long about it. But it's something that, I have to deal with. Well, so hit that subscribe button. Alright? I think I'm getting tired and older because I'm going to be 80 in a few days. In 10 days, I'm going to be 80 years old. And I'll tell you what. Mentally, I don't feel any different than I did when I was in college back in my 20s. Physically, that's a whole different ball game, I never was a strong man. I was never Herculean or anything like that, but I'm getting to the point where, hey, getting out of bed is a process, And that's how you know you're alive, I guess, you can get out of bed. Kind of sounds stupid, but what kind of day you having? I'm having a great day. I got out of bed, And that's a great thing. All right, so listen, I'm not paying attention to you anymore. Have a great day. I got to figure something out about this live and not live thing. I might just go straight live. I don't know. We'll see. Everybody take care. Again, straight live means I have to do it every morning, and there's some days I'm not even around to do that. During the holidays, it's just not possible for me to be on time. It's just ridiculous. But anyhow, everybody have a great day, and we'll talk tomorrow. If you don't want to go over and watch the same bullshit again live.